Hey everyone, and welcome back. We're doing a deep dive today, and we're going to be talking about free budgeting software.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah. It can be a little overwhelming though, right? I mean, there's so many options out there.
Yeah, it's kind of like trying to pick a new streaming service.
Totally. And they all promise to revolutionize your finances or whatever.
Right, like this one's going to make you a millionaire or something.
Exactly. So to help us navigate this world of budgeting apps, we've got some research here on 6 of the most popular free options.
All right, I'm ready to dive in.
Awesome. So the apps that we're looking at are Mint, Personal Capital. Then there's YMB, that stands for You Need a Budget Every Dollar, Good Budget, and Pocket Guard.
Okay, pretty solid lineup.
For sure. And you know what's interesting to me is how much these apps have gone beyond just basic budgeting,
Yeah, I mean, they're like little financial assistants now.
right? They can do so much more than just track your spending.
Absolutely. They can help you with things like setting financial goals, investing, even planning for retirement. Okay, so let's jump into some of the specifics. Starting with Mint.
I Mint. It's like the OG of budgeting apps, right?
Pretty much. I feel like everyone I know has at least tried it at some point.
Yeah, and for good reason. It's super user-friendly, and it does a great job of giving you a clear picture of where your money's going.
Totally. Like it breaks down your spending by category so you can see exactly how much you're spending on things like groceries or eating out.
Oh, and the automatic transaction categorization is a lifesaver.
Ugh, yes. I don't know what I would do without that feature.
Right? Who has time to manually categorize every single transaction?
Seriously. Now, for those who want to maybe level up their financial game a bit, there's Personal Capital.
Okay, so personal capital is definitely for the more investment-minded folks.
Yeah. It goes beyond just budgeting. It actually helps you track your investments and even analyze your net worth.
So it's like a one-stop shop for managing your entire financial picture.
Exactly. And it has some really cool features for planning for retirement.
Oh, for sure. If you're starting to think about things like long-term financial goals, personal capital is a great tool to have.
Okay, so we've got the tracker, we've got the planner. Now, what about those of us who need a little more structure, a little more guidance?
Enter YNAB. This is where the budgeting philosophy comes in.
Right. YNABs is all about giving every dollar a job.
So instead of just tracking your spending after the fact, you actually plan on where your money is going to go ahead of time.
Yeah, like you assign every dollar to a specific category before you even spend it.
Exactly. It's a really proactive approach to budgeting.
I've heard people say that YNA is almost like a lifestyle change, not just an app.
Oh, totally. It really makes you think differently about your money.
All right, so we've got the hands-on intentional budgeting with YNA. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, we have every dollar.
Okay, so every dollar is all about simplicity.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
It's based on the zero-based budgeting method,
Which means?
which means you start each month by allocating all of your income to specific categories.
So at the end of the month, your income minus your expenses should ideally equal 0.
Exactly. It's a great way to make sure you're not overspending and that every dollar has a purpose.
I like that. No more mystery money disappearing at the end of the month.
For sure. Now, for the visual learners out there like me, there's Good Budget.
Ooh, visual budgeting. Tell me more.
Well, Good Budget uses a digital envelope system.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's basically like having virtual envelopes for each of your spending categories.
So you can actually see how much money you have left in each envelope as you go.
Exactly. And you can easily move money between envelopes if you need to.
That's really cool. I can see how that would be helpful for people who like to actually see their budget laid out in front of them.
Right. It's a very visual and hands-on approach to budgeting. And finally, we have Pocket Guard, which is all about taking the stress out of money management.
Oh, Pocket Guard, the stress reducer.
It's kind of like having a financial guardian angel on your shoulder.
I like that.
Yeah, so Pocket Guard basically takes into account your income, your bills, your savings goals, and then it tells you exactly how much you have left to spend without going over budget.
So it's like having that little voice in your head saying, go ahead, you can afford that latte, or maybe hold off on that new pair of shoes.
Exactly. It helps you make informed spending decisions in the moment without having to constantly check your budget.
I can see how that would be really helpful for people who are prone to impulse purchases.
Definitely. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here, from the detailed tracker Mint to the empowering Pocket Guard. It's clear that there's a tool out there for every budgeting personality.
I'm feeling less overwhelmed already. But before we get too excited, I think it's important to address some of the common concerns people have about using free budgeting apps.
Good point. I think the biggest one is probably mobile accessibility. People want to be able to manage their money on the go, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Like, who wants to be tied to their desktop computer to check their budget?
Exactly. So luckily, all of the apps that we've talked about today have really great mobile apps.
All right, so no excuses there.
Yeah, you can track your spending, categorize transactions, even get spending alerts all from your phone.
That's awesome. And what about syncing multiple bank accounts? I mean, these days, it's pretty common to have accounts at different banks, right?
Yeah, for sure. So thankfully, all of these tools have evolved to keep up with that.
Okay, good. So they can connect to all of your accounts no matter where they are.
Exactly. You can see all of your financial information in one place, which is super convenient.
No more jumping between different websites or trying to piece things together manually.
Seriously. Okay, so we've covered mobile accessibility and syncing bank accounts. But there's one big concern that I think is really important to address, and that's data security.
Ooh, yeah, that's a big one.
People are trusting these apps with a lot of sensitive information, so it's natural to be concerned about how that data is being handled.
Absolutely. So what should people look for in terms of security?
Well, before you commit to any tool, take some time to research their encryption and privacy policies.
Oh, good advice.
Look for apps that use bank-level security measures.
Got it. So like two-factor authentication, strong passwords, that kind of thing.
Exactly. And make sure you understand how they handle your data. Do they sell it to third parties? What kind of control do you have over your privacy settings?
Those are all really important questions to consider.
They are. You know, when I first started using budgeting apps, I was a bit hesitant, like I was giving up some control.
I get that. It's kind of like inviting someone into your financial life, right?
Totally. But it's actually been the opposite for me. Having all of my information in one place and seeing those spending patterns has actually helped me make more informed decisions.
That's a great point. Knowledge is power, and these tools can definitely empower you to take charge of your financial well-being.
Absolutely. They're not just about tracking expenses, they're about making conscious choices about how you want to live your life.
So true. Okay, so we've covered the big names, the features, the security concerns. What else should people keep in mind as they navigate this world of free budgeting software?
Well, one thing that really stood out to me during our research was the importance of finding a tool that aligns with your individual needs and preferences.
Oh, for sure. Don't just go for the most popular option or the one with the fanciest features.
Exactly. Think about your budgeting style, your financial goals, and what you want to get out of this experience.
I love that you brought up budgeting style because our research actually highlighted some really interesting differences between the approaches of these tools.
Yeah, like YNAB, with its assign every dollar a job, philosophy is perfect for those who like to be hands-on and intentional with their budgeting.
Exactly. It's like you're strategizing and allocating your resources with a clear purpose.
And then you have Every Dollar, which embraces simplicity with its zero-based budgeting.
It's like starting with a clean slate each month and giving every dollar a specific destination.
And for our visual learners out there, Good Budget with its digital envelope system is fantastic.
It's a great way to bring that tactile visual element to budgeting.
For sure. And then we have Pocket Guard, which is all about taking the stress out of money management.
Right. Just tells you how much you have left to spend after taking care of your bills and savings goals.
So you can relax and enjoy those little indulgences without feeling guilty.
I love that. Budgeting shouldn't feel like a punishment.
It shouldn't. It's about empowering you to make choices that align with your values and goals.
So true. Okay, so let's do a quick recap for everyone.
Sounds good.
We've got Mint for user-friendly spending tracking,
Personal Capital for wealth building and investment insights.
YNB for proactive and intentional budgeting,
Every Dollar for simplicity and zero-based budgeting.
Good Budget for visual budgeting with its digital envelope system.
And Pocket Guard for stress-free spending awareness.
Quite a lineup, right?
Definitely. But remember, this is just the beginning.
Right. The world of personal finance is vast, and there are so many resources available.
So don't be afraid to explore beyond these popular options.
Research different features, experiment until you find the tools that truly click for you.
I love that. Now, we've talked a lot about budgeting, but I want to take it a step further.
Right, where are we going?
Think about a specific financial goal you're working towards.
Okay, got one.
Maybe it's paying off debt, saving for a down payment, building up your emergency fund.
Mm-hmm.
How could these budgeting tools help you reach that goal faster or more efficiently?
That's a great question to reflect on. Sometimes all it takes is a fresh perspective or a new tool to unlock those financial breakthroughs.
Exactly. Remember, you have the power to shape your financial future.
You do.
It all starts with taking that first step.
Right, so what's next?
Well, we've covered so much today, but there's always more to learn.
Of course, it's personal finance. There's always something new to discover.
Exactly. So we've got some additional resources and thought-provoking questions to help you continue your journey toward financial empowerment.
Awesome. I'm excited to keep learning.
Me too. So stick with us.
Yeah, it really streamlines things, right?
Totally. Okay, so we've talked about mobile accessibility. We've talked about syncing bank accounts. But there's another big concern that I think is super important to address.
What's that?
Data security.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
I mean, people are trusting these apps with a lot of sensitive information, so it's natural to be worried about how that data is being handled.
Absolutely. So what can people do to kind of protect themselves?
Well, first of all, before you commit to any tool, take some time to research their encryption and privacy policies.
Okay, so do your homework.
Yeah, exactly. Look for apps that use bank-level security measures like two-factor authentication, strong passwords.
Right, the basics.
Yeah. And then make sure you really understand how they handle your data.
Like, what do they do with it?
Right. Do they sell it to third parties?
Right.
What kind of control do you have over your privacy settings? These are all important questions to consider.
Yeah, you don't want to be caught off guard.
For sure. You know, when I first started using budgeting apps, I was a bit hesitant, like I was giving up some control.
I get that. It's kind of like inviting someone into your financial life, right?
Totally. But it's actually been the opposite for me. Having all of my information in one place and seeing those spending patterns has actually helped me make more informed decisions.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's like knowledge is power, right? And these tools can definitely empower you to take charge of your financial well-being.
They're not just about tracking expenses. They're about making conscious choices about how you want to live your life.
Exactly. Okay, so we've covered the big names, the features, the security concerns.
Phew. That's a lot.
I know, right? But what else should people keep in mind as they navigate this world of free budgeting software?
Well, one thing I always emphasize is the importance of finding a tool that aligns with your individual needs and preferences.
Well, totally. Don't just go for the most popular option or the one with the fanciest features.
Exactly. Think about your budgeting style, your financial goals, and what you want to get out of this experience.
You know, it's funny you mentioned budgeting style because our research actually highlighted some really interesting differences between the approaches of these tools.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like YNAB with its assign every dollar a job philosophy.
It's perfect for those who like to be hands-on and intentional with their budgeting.
Yeah, you're basically strategizing and allocating your resources with a clear purpose.
And then there's Every Dollar, which is all about simplicity with its zero-based budgeting approach.
Right. It's like starting with a clean slate each month and giving every dollar a specific destination.
And for the visual learners out there, Good Budget with its digital envelope system is fantastic.
You can actually see your money divided up into those categories.
And then we have Pocket Guard, which is all about taking the stress out of money management.
It just shows you how much you have left to spend.
So you can relax and enjoy those little indulgences without feeling guilty.
Exactly. Budgeting shouldn't feel like a punishment.
It shouldn't. It's about empowering you to make choices that align with your values and your goals.
Okay, so let's do a quick recap for everyone just to make sure we're all on the same page.
That's good. So we've got Mint for user-friendly spending tracking.
Personal capital for wealth building and investment insights.
YNA for proactive and intentional budgeting.
Every dollar for simplicity and zero-based budgeting.
Good Budget for visual budgeting with its digital envelope system.
And Pocket Guard for stress-free spending awareness.
What a lineup.
I know, right? But remember, this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Right, the world of personal finance is vast, and there are so many resources available.
So don't be afraid to explore beyond these popular options.
Research different features, experiment until you find the tools that truly click for you.
You know, we've talked a lot about budgeting, but let's zoom out for a second.
Okay, I like where you're going with this.
Think about a specific financial goal you're working towards.
Ooh, good one.
Maybe it's paying off debt, or saving for a down payment, or building up that emergency fund.
Right, those big picture goals.
Exactly. How could these budgeting tools help you reach that goal faster or more efficiently?
That's such a great question to think about.
I think sometimes all it takes is like a fresh perspective or a new tool to kind of unlock those financial breakthroughs.
Totally. And remember, you have the power to shape your financial future.
You really do.
It all starts with taking that first step.
That's so true.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground today, but we're not done yet.
There's always more to learn, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We've got some additional resources and thought-provoking questions to help you continue your journey toward financial empowerment.
Love it. Can't wait to dive in.
So stick with us.
Okay.
Okay, so, as we were talking about financial goals, I had like a little light bulb moment.
Tell me.
I've always wanted to go to Italy. Like it's been on my bucket list forever, but it always seemed so like unattainable.
Yeah, I feel that. Italy's expensive.
Right. But now I'm thinking maybe with a little help from like Mint or YMB.
You could actually make it happen.
Yeah, like maybe I could actually like create a specific savings goal and track my progress and
Yeah, actually see that dream trip becoming a reality.
exactly. It's so cool how these tools can actually like change the game.
They can. They can turn those someday dreams into concrete plans.
Another thing that really impressed me during our research was how much emphasis these apps put on education.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's not just about tracking numbers, it's about actually learning how to manage your money better.
Right. Like, it's not just giving you a fish, it's teaching you how to fish.
Exactly. Like I feel like I've learned so much just from using these apps.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm constantly discovering new features or tips and tricks.
It's like they're saying, hey, we're not just going to help you balance your checkbook. We're going to help you understand what a checkbook even is.
That's a great way to put it. It's about empowering individuals to actually take control of their financial lives.
And, for anyone listening who's feeling overwhelmed by all these options,
It can definitely be a lot to take in.
remember, there's no one right answer.
Right. It's all about finding the tool that fits your unique needs and your style.
Totally. Like it's like choosing a cereal.
Oh, I like that analogy.
There are tons of options, but ultimately it comes down to what you enjoy and what helps you start your day, right?
So true. So don't be afraid to experiment. Try a few different apps, see what features you like, find what works best for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you might even discover something new about yourself and your financial habits along the way.
Absolutely. I think self-discovery is a huge part of this whole personal finance journey.
Totally. Well, we've reached the end of our deep dive, and I have to say, I'm feeling pretty inspired.
Me too. It's amazing how much you can learn about personal finance.
It is. And taking control of your finances doesn't have to be scary or overwhelming.
Not at all. It can actually be kind of fun.
It can, especially with the right tools.
Right. It's like having a whole team of financial experts in your pocket.
Exactly. So, with a little effort and the right resources, you can achieve those financial goals and create the life you want.
Absolutely. Remember, you have the power to shape your financial future.
So true. Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of free budgeting software.
This was fun. I learned a lot.
Me too. We hope you found it helpful, and most importantly, we hope you feel empowered to take charge of your financial future.
So go out there and conquer those financial goals.
You got this.